It's a great start for us to have this conversation here. It is vague, but I know that we're slowly going to get into the topic. But let's just talk about surface. When we're talking about a man that, is tall, has a large income, well-mannered, morals, things like that, that's usually what a female looks for or what a woman looks for. But my question is, one, can you bring what you require to the table? And the reason I say that is because so many times we want this man that's so tall, so fit, financially stable, well in the mind, but half the time the women that require that are not taking the time to see if they match those same qualities and value. What is your sexual market value? Have you been taking care of your mind? Have you been taking care of your body, your spirit, things like that? Where when this high value man that comes around, are you prepared to be with a high value man? And then that kind of goes with that. A lot of people don't know what it takes to handle a high value man. A high value man has a very large schedule. That's number one. So he has no time to sit here and deal with you complaining, things like that. When a lot of people think of the surface and what they want, a lot of people are not ready for what they desire. With that, most high value men are, they're polygamous because they're able to afford dealing with other women. And can you handle that lifestyle? Or if not, can you hold your own in a sense where if you want to be in a monogamous relationship with that man, can you hold that man in his needs? So that's what I think so far. And it's just surface versus interior. You can have this tall person that has a horrible nature and character. And then you can have this shorter person that is all the qualities that you need, but you'll look over that shorter person because, oh, well, he doesn't fit the look or the build. So are you willing to compromise? Are you willing to work? And then also as women, are we willing to be judged as harshly based on appearance and just materials as we judge men for dating? That's my perspective on it.
Can you repeat that last part?
So I'm saying, are we at the end of the pace, like we judge men so hard as far as, oh, well, he's not tall enough. If I heard sayings like, if a man is 5 anything, we already count him out. Like, oh, ew, he's 5, under 5'7", right? Or say he doesn't have the finances, or say that, just whatever, size, whatever a woman cares about, money, all those things. But what I've noticed is a lot of women, when a man judges by our body figure, our weight, our appearance, our rating, sexual market value, we tend to be like, ew, that's sexist, that's this, that's that. We put all these names and label for it because the number one thing we say is, oh, you're supposed to look at us for our heart and I'm a good person and things like that. But I don't feel as women, just a majority, we don't necessarily look at the opposite sex the same. So to even get in this conversation like, oh, well, can we look at a man that is lower than the standards that we require? Do you even fit those standards? That's pretty much the point I was making. They were always at the schools. They were always either helping people, doing some outreach. But it seems like growing up, I've never seen them come home with dates or things like that. When it came to college, because it was so much of a struggle, I was deeply encouraged to pursue college, to pursue a career. And when I first started off in my 20s, I was pretty successful in that. So with that, I wanted to gain a position where I was able to take care of myself, kind of learn to swim before you go save someone else type of mindset. I wanted to gain my stability. And then from there, I wanted to be open to have a partner. Not understanding now that I'm an entrepreneur, I work very hard. Actually, I'm doing this podcast after being up for maybe 2 days working. That takes a toll on a woman's mind and body. So when we're talking about, when I brought up the sexual market value, when you're not sleeping, that ages you. When you're stressing out, that alters your fertility. And then you also have this independent mindset where I'm so used to taking care of myself that if a man does try to come and lead and give me some guidance, I'm a little resistant to it because I've been doing it this long and I've been doing okay at it. So now I'm understanding the importance of it because, one, fertility, age, what men call the wall, what women call aging, whatever you want to call that. But secondly, doing it on my own and being a one-person household and now having two people in the household, I see the importance of it now. Now I ask myself questions like, how was I ever able to do this by myself? Now that I've felt the assistance of a man come in my life and show the things that I shouldn't have to do, I shouldn't have to worry about or stress about, I'm now able to operate more in my feminine. So that's pushing me more towards marriage now, and understanding and appreciating. It's not even the fact that I'm scrambling for marriage because the wall is coming. That's not the case. I'm finally starting to appreciate the masculine energy in my life. I'm starting to see where they add instead of subtract. So that it just makes sense to move forward as a team instead of keep doing it by yourself.
To have a genuine, I can tell you guys have a genuine friendship. You know why? Because you guys respect each other, you gas each other up, you have admiration towards each other, and I'm sure you have loyalty. I did my research, I heard some of your podcasts later on, and you guys have that loyalty aspect, right? That is so hard to find anywhere with a woman and another woman. You got women that are stealing other men. You've got women that are insecure and want to take your shit. You got women that want to put you down to make themselves feel better and they don't even realize that they're doing that. You've got all sorts of issues with women. So the bottom line at the end of the day, the way that I see things is that for men and women, if we all want to get to a place where like fuck the games and actually get to a genuine place where you can find your person, everybody has to do the actual internal work. I had to realize from my dad, I didn't get what I needed. And so I had to heal and love myself and give myself what I needed. I also had to look for examples of marriages that I know of that actually love each other, that are not perfect, but they've been married 50, 60 years. They never cheated and they fight. And I have this one lady that would say like, I'm done, because the guy wouldn't take out the trash. And next week she's like, I know I'm never done. Like, these are the relationships that I've looked for and I've found because I've wanted to do the internal healing work because I understand I am going to attract what I am. So if I'm fake and I'm not secure in myself, I'm not healing, I'm not healed, I'm not looking at my part in situations, taking responsibility, taking accountability, I'm not going to find that because I'm not even going to know what that looks like in another person, right? So, but to get to this level, you really have to dive deep. It has to be a commitment that you find in it. So you could generalize, why are girls like this? Why are guys like this? Why? But at the end of the day, if every single person did the internal work for whatever their trauma is, whatever their issues were, whatever they had that hurt them, that impacted them as a child, that created this idea, this illusion of how life really is, and we healed that, we would have so many less problems. But it really takes this. And furthermore, like you're talking about all these different situations that happen because, like she said, it's our generation. In the 1950s, in the 1930s and 40s, women literally had no rights, weren't able to do anything. It wasn't until World War II came along that finally we had to step up because all the men went to go fight the war. Then they came back and wanted it to be the way it was before. And no, we are empowered now, right? But that's also the era where they started telling their daughters, you are empowered now. And so you also can be sexualized. You also can sexualize men, just like men have been doing for all this time.
And
you
as
can
a father,
also,
that's scary.
Right, but that's the point where it's our job. It's our job to, you as a father, it is your responsibility, no matter what happens, to show your son or daughter you are valued. Okay, well then, as especially a daughter, I love you. I unconditionally love you. Whether you come home pregnant, whether you come home beaten, whether you come home, whatever happens, I will always love you. I will always be there for you. Because what that translates into her life as she gets older is when that happens, she knows that's wrong. She knows that she deserves better because she has had better. And as females, as we grow up, as we're adults, the way that we have to do that is that I'll tell the last relationship I was in, part of the reason I've gone through so much healing work was because I let so many things slide to the point where it was a physical attack. And I knew that was wrong. I had known that part was wrong. All the other shit, I was like, we'll work on it, right? And I'm talking like lying and cheating and all these things. And so fast forward, when I started doing the actual internal work and I'm looking at, I chose him, and I'm like looking for his validation because I didn't get validation from my father. And I chose a person that didn't love himself just as my father didn't love himself to be able to show up for me. Right? So you see how like it's literally a domino effect on how everything is treated. And I can tell you this, that they always come back. I heard like a meme that was like, if the dude always came back to her, it's safe to say she was not the problem. While it's a little bit true, I definitely have my own problems that I had to work through, especially with that masculine energy. I can tear a man down if I wanted to. And so knowing that, you have to have this responsibility and understanding I have that within me and I can hurt someone. And if I hurt that person, what are they going to do? On to the next person, hurt that person. On to the next person, hurt that person. So it starts within every single one of us. It doesn't matter what the fuck happened 30 years ago. It's our responsibility now.
We don't have the same values that we used to have no more. We don't have songs about getting back together. We don't have Cosby shows or a different world to show us how to handle problems in relationships. Now everything is all reality shows. It's drama. It's cheating on your girl. It's revenge. It's secrets. It's all these things. I feel, yes, we have technology, and yes, you do have the option to swipe and do all this to another person, but at the end of the day, if we use that as an argument to say, well, that's why relationships are messed up, it's not a fact that technology messed it up, it's self-control. Because nothing should be different. If I find a decent partner that is willing to work with me, I'm not worried. I don't care who is on my phone. Mm-hmm. I don't care who I see. I don't see that. I know who I'm working with. I know who I'm in partnership with, and my loyalty is to that person. So a swipe here and a swipe there is not going to bother me more than someone else who say can't control themselves or know they're with the wrong person. Secondly, like when it comes down to it, a lot of men, I would say, is very afraid to get married, and rightfully so, because there is an argument of what does a man benefit from marriage. They're afraid to go in financially and things like that. So when I say meet the right person, I say that on many levels. One, meet the right person enough where they're ready for marriage. And then also, I'm ready as well. Once that is set, there's nothing absolutely holding me back. I would change that any day. The things that break up a marriage is mostly communication, right? And it's mostly ego and things like that. Yes, we have this, oh, men, they're upset that women do this and women are upset. I just need someone that's going to work with me. Hey, you have your flaws, I have my flaws, but if we have a argument or something, let's know how to work through it healthily so we can move on with the marriage. I'm not looking for someone that works backwards, so I need a man that knows himself enough to know to communicate instead of run elsewhere. I need someone who knows how to handle, if you're going to be a provider, I need to see how you are with your finances. Can you handle yourself financially? And just because you have money doesn't mean you can handle yourself financially. Do you have financial awareness? If I submit to you in a sense where I take care of the kids and my main focus is the kids, can I make sure that we're not going to be in debt? Can I make sure that you're not going to say gamble away the house? So that takes time. But once after you've gotten all those things, where he's emotionally aware, spiritually aware, those things, it's no brainer.
I don't think that takes time.
The reason it's so important for us to heal and bring out that feminine and not be hurt women is because we need to show that it is possible to get through that. We don't have to fight. We don't have to yell. One of the biggest things that I see all the time is that when a man minimizes how a girl feels, or a woman, and rightfully so, she's angry. But the moment that she opens her mouth with anger, everything that she said it's already null and void. And that's what women don't understand. They give away their power. They give it away. Willingly, they give it away because they say, my emotions are so powerful and so intense, I cannot control them. Learn to control your emotions, not in a controlling manner, but if the shit that hurt you in the past doesn't hurt you anymore, you're not going to let that out anymore. And you're going to be able to see, like, there's no reason why I should have two guys that are really close friends of mine in the manosphere, like literally, like guys go up to them and they're like, oh, you're so-and-so. I didn't know it was a thing. Those are two of my closest friends. I didn't. I thought, and then like they tell me how it works and stuff. I'm like, God, that's so fucked up and toxic.